Welcome in, everybody. It is the DLLS Cowboys podcast on the day after an L to the Detroit Lions. The odds aren't great. We're going to need a miracle. Well, let's talk about our football game and our football team, shall we? Show starts. Meow. Welcome in, everybody. It is the DLLS Cowboys podcast on the day after the Cowboys lose to the Detroit Lions, and maybe, possibly, probably, there's a 91 to 93% chance ended their season. But we're hanging. We're hanging. Go ahead and win all of them the rest of the way and see if the Philadelphia Eagles can fall all the way apart and give you a chance to make the postseason. Well, there's a decent chance this thing's over, but we're glad you're here. We're always going to be here with you talking Cowboys football. Thanks for being with us, and welcome in. My name is Jeff. Can I give you something messy? I could probably come up with some of that today. And I'm next to former Cowboy wide receiver Jesse Holley.
You know I'm Captain Messy.
So, yeah, we could definitely mess it up.
He's actually Captain Messy. I ride shotgun.
I don't think I have anything messy today. Well, I bet we can get messy about George Pickens if we want to.
I can get messy.
Well, we're going to do it in the second. I think we're going to do it in the second segment.
Okay. Mine's are not George Pickens messy.
People out there crack me up, man. And I get it. Like, people just really like and care about their sports teams. So when they win or when they lose, like, it's
yeah, that pendulum swings.
Like, somebody posted the Pickens deep play where it's like, look, he's not even trying. And I'm like, well, I guess somebody who watched the play, actually what happened was he took too long going this way and this way to sell her out before he broke this way. And by the time he tracked the ball, he's 6'4", so he's trying to, after finding it late, wind his way back to the ball. And by the time that he gets to where he could try to make an attempt on the ball, the safety has reached his hip and he would just be smashing into a human. And so he couldn't get to the ball. But it's like, why are you defending him? And I was like, well, I'm just telling you what happened on the play.
What's second segment?
Okay, I'm just telling you what happened on the play.
Second segment?
He doesn't need my defense, but I do. Maybe it's different people. I don't know. But I feel like it's probably the same people who a week ago he was the best player ever and CeeDee Lamb sucked 2 weeks ago. I don't know. But sports are hard, and I get it. People care, and that's good. We love that people care. When it comes to the loss to the Detroit Lions, Jesse Holley, where do you believe the game was lost?
The game was lost, in my opinion, the same place that the Cowboys have been losing games for the last 10 years.
Okay.
It's an undisciplined football team. This is an undisciplined football team. This is a team that lacks talent in certain areas that are key to you winning football games. We talk about this ad nauseum between you and I and on this platform about, yes, coaching matters, but also having Jimmys and Joes matters even more. And just when you think things are going in the right direction, that's when teams go, oh, you're really susceptible to getting whooped in that area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to design, scheme, call, and run plays that puts the very thing that you're super weak at and we're really good at into play. And when you go back and you watch this game, there were countless things, and I get it. I'm not one to blame refs either way, but there maybe been some questionable calls. I mean, I think you got away with not getting a safety called on you, right? That's a very close call. Could have went either way. You can feel how you feel about the offensive pass interference.
It's incomplete.
But the discipline of the Dallas Cowboys has always been an issue. And when you play against teams that are equal to or better than you, you can't have this stuff happen. You can't have the fumbles. You can't have the penalties. You can't have the ways that things get backed up. You can't have the mismanagement on play calls. It was it wasn't that, like, this is the part where it comes to, like, coaching and I know that that Shotty, he's learning. He's still learning.
I'll go ahead, tear him up.
No, but he's still learning. But, like, for example, like, this is how you can tell that one coach may have a little bit more. He got a little bit more seasoning on in his head coaching, because you and I went back and forth about the field goal before the half. Right?
You on my team yet?
No.
Come around yet?
No. I'm not. I get it, but Shotty could have done what you hate that he does. Shotty could have came to the line of scrimmage and act like he was going to do that, ran off some more clock. The minute he sent that field goal unit out there, Dan Campbell said, "I'm out. I'm going to save some time." You could have went out there and hut and faked this out and blew 20, 25 seconds off, and now kicked it. Yeah. And we get it back with 20 seconds left. But because so many things are going in your head and this is kind of new to you, you showed your hand quickly. Dan Campbell said, "Boop. Hey, give me one of these."
Turpin called it?
No.
You said, hey.
No. I was saying Campbell. Yeah. CD.
Hey.
No. But
time out.
But Dan Campbell said, "Boop." And those are small things that you don't, in the moment, you don't think about it. But when you go back, you go, that's a chess move.
Yeah.
But overall, the game was won between the Jimmys and Joes and the discipline or the lack thereof for the Dallas Cowboys. And we've talked about this so much over the years, and they take turns doing it.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I do think that's a good one. I'm on team. They should have gone for it. But I really like that point. Like, if you could, because most of them, NFL head coaches suck at the clock and timeouts, which is crazy to me. There's 32 of these jobs.
Yeah.
Well, you should be a master at all of it.
Or at least have people upstairs like, hey.
Correct.
Like, have a team around you if you're.
And most teams do. And I believe the Cowboys are one of them that would have a guy that's in your ear to say yes or no. Like, timeout, go or don't. And, like, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what historical data and the odds tell you to do. Like, they have that. But that is a next level one where if it's like, no, we're not going, but we're going to pretend we're going to see if we can get 25 more seconds off of this thing. And then we'll give them 30 seconds instead of, like, that would have been the better way to kick a field goal. But I thought you just had to know where you were. Like, we're on the road. We're down. At that time, was it already 2 scores?
I think it was 11. Because, you kick the field goal, you go down, you were down 11, kick the field goal, you go in 8 at halftime, you get the ball back at half. So they were trying to play the middle 8. So you were down 11, you kicked the field goal, which took you down to 8.
And then they went back to 11.
And then they went and got one.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just thought you got to know where you're at. Like, I know the best part of my team. I know I'm on the road against a team that's going to keep moving and scoring on me. We need a touchdown if we can get it, and we darn sure don't need them touching the ball again with a chance to get points. So I thought that was bad. But I don't think, like, to me, where the game was lost is I'm debating if I think it's Jimmys and Joes or X's and O's. I think it's both.
It's both.
Because I think, to me, the game was lost by your pass defense. And I'm trying to get a firm, like, and here is the reason. And I struggle with DaRon Bland at different times because I'm confident DaRon Bland is a starting NFL corner. I've had to go through it with a lot of Cowboy fans with 2 different corners on this team at different times. Because I am a firm believer that Trayvon Diggs was never one of the best corners in the NFL. Like, in terms of you're playing pick the team, Detroit. And it's Amon-Ra St. Brown and it's Trayvon Diggs. There's never been a time in his career where the Lions would be like, probably not going to go to Amon-Ra today, you know? Right. But, like, he was a guy who made big plays, can really catch the ball, play a ball in the air like a receiver. Like, he had those things. But he was never like, you ain't getting nothing on me.
Right.
And DaRon Bland was the same thing. Like, I do believe he should have a Defensive Player of the Year award. because there is nothing more valuable than scoring a ton of touchdowns as a defensive player. But there's never been a time when a team showed up to play the Cowboys and went, they got 26. Probably not going to go to our guy on him. Like that's never been the case. So like, I don't think they're like shut down great players. I don't think Duran is a shut down great corner. But boy, when he looks totally inept, I'm like, I don't believe that either. So part of me is going to blame, I guess, Eberflus. But teams can just do whatever they want passing the ball on this team. And whether it's we're giving a guy in the flats a one-on-one situation, your linebackers are dead in the water.
Mm-hmm.
We're throwing this on Deron Bland. We're not scared of him. Easy money. We're going to go at Reddy Stewart. Easy money.
Right. So okay. So that, and we did this on the post-game show last night, and I'm not, as the young people say, I'm not caping for Matt Eberflus, but you just explained it. What is he to do? What is he to? Because I get it. More people are saying, "Hey, you need to blitz Jared Goff." When you blitz Jared Goff, he's a lesser of a player, right? So blitz him. And I cool, right? Fine. Blitz him till you can't blitz anymore. Then what? Because again, this is where the coaching comes into play.
Press man, disrupt timing, and hope for the best.
Hope for the best. Now, like to your point, is that this is the chess match that happens in NFL football with coaching and then with Jimmy's and Joe's. Because cool, you press man corner, that's fine. But now here's the hope. The hope is now I'm going to get Jahmyr Gibbs, who is far better than anyone that you have on that defense covering in space. And you may get me one time on a sack where we went press man, but there's people in that booth that are going to go, all right, guys, here's what we're going to do. The next time we get in this formation and they get in that blitzing formation, Jahmyr Gibbs, we're going to do this, or we're going to check to this. And we're now going to have Jahmyr Gibbs out in space on a Texas route or arrow route or seam route or whatever against said linebacker or said safety. Pick them. It doesn't really make a difference. Or that one time when you're talking about, all right, I don't think Deron Bland is inept at what he does, but he's also not a lockdown, shutdown corner. I like my chances with Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jameis Williamson. So like that's the part where Matt Eberflus, this is the part where I tried to tell a lot of people earlier in the season, you can blame Matt Eberflus and he does not get absolved of having his part in this terrible defense. He does not get absolved of that. But it's also the fact that you need good players, man. Like you need good players. And when you don't have good players on an entire level, and you got a really good defensive front, your second level, your linebackers as a group, not individually,
they're terrible,
are trash.
They're bad.
And I know people.
I don't think it makes it hurt less when you say they are trash. Like you're still saying
group,
they're all.
No, I say that as a group because I know Overshown will probably watch this and see this and go, "Well, I'm not trash." And I'm not, son, not son, young fella, young bro. I think you're an exceptional player, but you go into that group. So overall, while you raise the group a little bit, the rest of them dudes pull you way down. Okay, and you're still finding your sea legs, and then your secondary is really bad. So now you have two levels of football that you're trying to make up for. That blitzing is not going to help. It's just not going to help.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, early in the game, they got good results. When they blitzed more, they got better results. But I'm with you. I don't think there's like a consistently good answer because the players aren't good enough. Like Eberflus is trying to have, in some cover situations, Marquise Bell on the field and not Donovan Wilson covering a receiver. Doesn't matter. Like Marquise Bell ain't covering Amon-Ra or James.
It's just
Williams.
It's a different type of beat.
Yeah.
However you want it, it's a different type of beat.
And so, yeah, I think that's like the season wasn't lost by losing to the Lions last night. And technically it's not over. If you can win out and you can get very lucky, technically it's not over.
Technically.
But like the season was lost a week before the season started.
Oh, you're going all the way back there.
Well, that's where it was lost.
Okay. They don't want to hear that, though.
And that's fine. But if you could run a full season with what you have right this second, I think you make the playoffs.
Micah Parsons sucks.
I agree.
If you could run the whole season with what you have right now, I think you make the playoffs.
Not only do I think you make the playoffs, I think you make the playoffs with home field advantage.
But you yanked the rug on one side of the ball right before the season started. And so, like, yes, it's disappointing to lose to Detroit. You lost to a good football team that played really well offensively, and your pass defense is not great. It's not good. Your linebackers are not good. Your pass rush outside of Quinnen Williams is not good. But it could be a get-by defense with a great offense and win enough games to be a playoff team. The season wasn't lost because they lost to the Lions last night. It's lost because they were 3-5-1 because they yanked the rug on the defense before the season started.
That's a great point.
And that's unfortunate. Coming up next, though, on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, has your needle moved on George Pickens? We'll do that next.
You like meat?
Yes.
Well, if you like meat, then I have the place that you should go. Wild Fork Food. And go to our Plano location because this Saturday, we're going to have a nice special event. You're going to have some DLLS people there, and you're going to have the great people at Wild Fork Foods there. And they're giving away delicious samples for free. You know if it's free, it's for me. And you don't have to be a foodie. You could be just someone who enjoys delicious meats. So head out there this Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. at 2085 Preston Road in Plano. Yeah. John Radigan, and Jeff Wilson will be there. So make sure you head out there this Saturday from 12 to 2. Frozen is fresher at Wild Forks. Their organic grass-fed beef is 85% lean, and it's $5.60 for each one you buy, too. That's about the best that I've seen out there. You got to try them out. Go to one of their 9 DFW locations. Go to wildfoodforks.com.
Wild Fork Foods, baby! I love Wild Fork Foods. I also love our friends at Shopify.
Yeah.
So Shopify, if you're not familiar with Shopify, they power our merch store.
Okay.
Like if you have an idea and you have something you would like to sell, Shopify is how you get that stuff done.
Like your Shiesty idea.
Like the Shiesty idea, it is powered by Shopify because it's on our merch store at alldlls.com. They power all of our merch stores. Shopify, it's an e-commerce platform, and it's the one behind millions of businesses around the world, 10% of all e-commerce in the United States. So maybe you want to make a Team Tank hat. Guess who can do that for you? Shopify. They got you covered. Website creation, product descriptions, email and social media marketing, and more. They got AI tools to help you maximize your sales. Turn your big business idea into cha-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial. Start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. Shopify.com/allcity. All right, it is the DLLS Cowboys podcast, and we're talking George Pickens now. And what I want to know from you in the chat, I need to know what I want to know. I want to know, has your needle moved on George Pickens? And that is funny because we've been talking about recently George Pickens running the most slants in the league, the most yards on slants, the most everything on slants. And then our producer John told us Jake Ferguson has run the second most slants in the NFL with 0 targets. So we were tracking last night. They each ran 7. Ferg, 0 targets.
Shout out to them cardio routes, man. Shout out for the love of the game.
Can Jake Ferguson end up surpassing George for the most slants run in the league and have never – can you lead the league in the route and never be targeted on it? That would be some kind of a record. Yeah, but has your needle moved on George? Because that's some of the things that you see on the internet. I know I am seeing plenty of it. And – Kirk Herbstreit was critical of George Pickens last night during the game from what I could hear while we were doing our watch-along.
Well, I wish Clarence was here today.
Richard Sherman went ham
tear his butt up
on George Pickens after the game. I have been adamant that if you don't have George Pickens on this team next year, you're not trying your best to win the Super Bowl. Has your needle moved on George Pickens?
Not one bit. Not one bit. Because contrary to some of what you believe, I'm a realist. And where there's smoke, there is fire. Because everything that we heard out of Pittsburgh, they didn't make that up. But this is the George Pickens experience. This is what you get. You get really good, and sometimes you're going to get some bull. That comes along with it. And this is what you have to And let me tell you this. The one thing that I know about money, because I had a little bit at one point in time.
A couple dollars.
Help
me with the pool fund.
Would it now?
Yeah.
No, not now.
Okay.
Back then it would have.
Okay.
Back then we'd got the pool paid off. Easy.
Nice. That would have been good.
In 1 week.
That'd be nice.
Here's what I know about money. Money doesn't change you. Money never changes anyone. It just amplifies who you are. That's all it does.
It's the exact word I thought of.
It amplifies. It amplifies exactly who you are. And the things that are being let slide, and you even heard kind of Trayvon Diggs' little hint to it last week. And it's like, well, some folks, they get to have different rules. You know, some folks can show up late. Some folks can miss things, and nobody says anything about it. See, those are the tea leaves you got to read in between the lines.
Yeah.
Well, but when I do it, I get fined. They take away my money.
Play better.
You know, and that's the case.
Yeah. Play.
Yes. Yeah, play. You know, Jimmy Johnson always said, everyone gets treated fairly, but not everyone gets treated the same.
Right.
And that goes for those who play really well. So, no, my stance doesn't change on George Pickens. Still a really good player. But just know, the bigger the bag, the more things that you see now will be amplified. Like, think about this for just 1 second. And this is not me piling on George Pickens. If George Pickens had come from a place where people said negative things about him, and he was going to another place to try to change the image of what people said about him and get bread, you would think, I'm on time, I'm where I'm supposed to be, you won't have any issues out of me. For a man that is trying to get broke off, Shotty's even said it. There's some things he just ain't gonna be on time for. And you accept it. You hear, they asked Dak Prescott, and he kind of laughs a little bit. He's like, man, that's George. George is going to be George. And that happens in the locker room. Sometimes you just see one guy, you just going to say, you know what? That's him. And we just going to live with that. But this is the complete George Pickens experience. So my opinion doesn't change on him because this is what I knew about him. I knew that you're going to get a really good player, and don't any of you come into my mentions or my timeline or any of that thing talking about, the lackadaisical on his routes and da-da-da. That's who he's always been. When y'all were crowning him to be, y'all was saying, rip the 88s off CD's back and put him on George Pickens and he's the wide receiver number one. He was doing the same thing. Difference is, you're making plays. Y'all wasn't complaining about ball security when he was jumping over folks with the ball in one hand or running down the sideline. Y'all was saying, look at that demon. Look at that menace. Look at that monster. But when he fumbles it, you're like, put the damn ball away. Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? It's no different. He's been doing this all year long. Now, I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm saying he is consistent in what he does. You aren't. And so you aren't. You aren't consistent. He has been George Pickens all year long. You've changed. Y'all switched up. He didn't. And then when he didn't play well, y'all do what y'all do. Y'all jump on a cat and y'all say this and I'll say that about, he didn't. All the little things that we talk about that happens, that when I say or someone says, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. You're like, oh, shut up, you a jag. Talking about you could never be George Pickens. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. That'll come back to bite you one day. And then it comes back to bite you and you're going, oh, well, this and it. I'm just telling you, man, the lack of discipline, the things, when you don't do things right or the right way, it comes back to bite you. And the needle hasn't moved on me one bit. George Pickens is George Pickens, and this is a part of the George Pickens experience.
Is like where were and are you, if it hadn't moved at all, on pay George Pickens?
Oh, I always want players to get paid. You need George Pickens. George Pickens makes you a better football team, whether you like it or not. George Pickens, honestly, he makes you, in addition to having him and CD opposite of each other, that makes you Super Bowl contending viable. Not having him, I don't think you are. Having him, in addition to other things that you need to fulfill in this team, it makes you it makes you a serious contender. This is the where football is going. It's kind of like when basketball shifted to now you need two superstars on the team, right? It was just like one superstar and a bunch of role players. Now you need two. That's what football is now. Now wide receivers, you need wide receiver 1 and pseudo wide receiver 1B or whatever you want to call it. The days of having a dominant X and other guys, that's not the way the game is being played right now. So
it's a tough run for George. 3 weeks ago, he was the best receiver on the Cowboys by a mile.
Yep.
And CD wasn't very good, and now George Pickens is a terrible player. He is, George Pickens is incredibly unique, which is hard to be when you're
unique
talking.
But unique in what?
Well, all of it. But it's weird to have the incredibly unique guy in a league that is like all the best players in the world. And so there's, 32 teams. So there's 30, 60, 90, 96. Assuming 11 personnel, there's 96 starting receivers in the league. And there's no one even kind of like him in the entire package of it. Because watching that game, he is unique in his ability to high point, toss people around, the way that he moves after the catch, all of that is unique. And it is absolutely unique that part of your game and the way you run routes is at that tempo. If a guy is standing right in front of him and he's going to run a slant, you're going to get a release that is up-tempo and hostile. And then you're like, wow, that was a high-effort play. It seems like everything against off coverage, it's an intentional tempo that he's trotting, because I believe when I hit, if you're standing still, this is going to work. Because
I'm bigger than you.
I don't want to close this cushion.
Right.
I want to have this distance. And so he's just a really weird player. And I do think if you were going to coach him on how I want all of this done, it would be at full speed. I want you to be threatening people in every single regard.
But it wouldn't be at full. And I would say there should be tempo to route running. The best route runners have tempo to their route running. They understand. The best route runners understand when I'm the first read, depending on the coverage, if the quarterback will come back to me. Because, again, to run a full speed route and you're the second read, it means you're doing it wrong. Yeah. Because now you're open and he's on the first read.
You ran past the window.
So now when he comes back, you're gone. Defense has shifted and you're nowhere to be found. So, should be tempo to route running. That is in the culture of route running. But George, like you said, he's and unique sometimes is not always a good thing.
No, it's not.
Because you could just be unique, and unique could be not good for what we need. And I'm not saying the Cowboys need it. I'm just saying for a situation.
Yeah. I still, no doubt, you're a Super Bowl contender next year if you do something about your defense and you have George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, and you're probably not. If you don't, I don't think that it's wise for anybody to be in the market of getting rid of your best players.
I'm on team keep them.
I think that's dumb, Jerry. I know that you're a big fan of it occasionally, getting rid of your best players for no reason. I don't think there's anything I do think that is sprinkles of George Pickens on your football team. And it's going to draw the attention and the ire when you don't win a game and he doesn't have a big game. If you go watch him play by play and you're like, that was your best? And it's like, well, I'll tell you what happened was it's George Pickens, because there was one play where I'm like, what? And it wasn't the deep ball that he couldn't get to, which I've seen people post in the video, and they're like, George Pickens isn't trying hard. And it was down the left sideline, and he runs up and inside the corner. Then he pushes him deep and out. Then he breaks the post. The ball's already in the air. He found it late, and the geometry and what human bodies do, people are like, he didn't try hard. It would have been impossible for him to get to that ball. He did try. It's just your eyes are lying to you and a camera angle is lying to you. So that play, don't worry about it. But the one where it's 3rd and 19, and he's the only one on the left side, and he just jogs up, and after about 8 yards, he starts looking at Dak, I don't know, what do you think? That's a guy who doesn't think he's going to get the ball because there's a linebacker inside, there's a corner in front of me, there's a safety behind him. And it's like, I'm probably not going to get the ball. And Dak throws it anyway, and he could have caught it. He could have made a play on that ball. And if you're running, coming off of the ball, that corner looked like he was in man with safety help. You might have backed him up and had a bigger window. So there are plays where you're going to watch him and you're going to be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the answer is he's George Pickens. And in his head, this alignment, it's probably not my ball. So,
but that's weird because your quarterback is publicly quoting saying, even when George Pickens is covered, he's open.
But he's like, I don't know.
But George is like, well, not really on this one. Dak's like going through progression, like, oh, not open. Let me go find George. And he throws it. And George is like, oh, like you can tell his body goes, oh, snap, he's actually throwing it to me.
Yeah.
And he tries to make a play on it. Like, and I'll say this before we have to go. The thing about George Pickens is, to use your word, is such a unique character, player, person. George Pickens has the type of personality where George is the Joker. He's the Joker. He realizes why so serious, but he'll get people to follow him. And he's not even trying. What'll end up happening is you'll see people who follow him. Just watch closely. It's already happening. People are following his style. People are following his mannerisms. People are following his approach to things.
So you're saying trade him?
No, I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying trade him because I think he's a damn good player. But he's also the kind of player that is it's a very, very, you are flirting a very, 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 very tightrope.
Yeah.
Because, boy, is he an absolutely unicorn in what he's able to do.
Yeah.
But you also know if he decides, and this is the part where it gets tricky when you pay a player like that, when he decides to be the bad portion of his Jekyll and Hyde, boy, he is pulling a lot of folks in there with him. And that's the scary part.
You heard it from Jesse Holley. Trade George Pickens.
No, keep George
Toxic
Pickens.
And going to poison everything. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, maybe the most disappointing thing about that Cowboys loss is next.
Is old St. Nick up on your roof? Does those damn reindeers damaged your roof? If they have, then I have the people that you should call. You should call my friends at Qualys Roofing and Construction because they are going to take care of you. Over 700 5-star review, averaging a 4.9 rating. So if you just want to make sure that your roof is cool, call them. If your roof actually has damage, call them. Reach out to them. And they just not say, hey, we just want to come work and we're not coming with any presents.
Yeah, they got presents.
They got presents. Because if you call right now, if you set up an appointment right now for them to check out your roof, give you a free t-shirt.
DLLS t-shirt.
Give you one.
They got you.
And if you actually get your roof repaired by Qualys Roofing and Construction, they're going to give you a brand new Traeger grill or a flat top Blackstone grill. So all you got to do is head on over there right now and go to QualisGC.com or call them at 817-500-9008 to set up and start the process today. Merry Christmas and ho, ho, ho.
And tell them that we sent you at Qualys. They need to know. Also, shout out to our friends at Shady Rays.
Yeah.
Because my future's bright. These are my Shady Rays. I like the purple. I like the aviator style. Our friends at Shady Rays, we love to tell you about one of the very unique things about them, and I'll tell you in a second about that unique thing. But first, I want you to know that the glasses are absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're affordable.
Yep.
And they're incredible. All sorts of different styles, colors, whatever you want. Shady Rays, they got you covered. And the way that they have kind of changed the game is if you accidentally lose or break these things, you know, we've been there. We've been there. And if that happens to you with your Shady Rays, they'll send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So I can now wear my Shady Rays, and that's great. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Get over to ShadyRays.com. Use the code DLLS35 for 35% off your polarized sunglasses. Oh, we love a good pair of Shady Rays. Mm-hmm. Welcome back. It is the DLLS Cowboys podcast. What you're looking at right now is a passing chart of Dak Prescott in this game against the Lions. And I will tell you, maybe the most disappointing thing about this Cowboys loss is a trend that's probably going on about 20 years now, where I feel bad for the quarterbacks of the Cowboys.
Should have put a suit on.
Okay, yeah, he did not wear a suit before the game, and Jesse does track what Dak's wearing before the game, believes it's an accurate predictor of how the team is going to play and how Dak is going to play. I didn't realize until you told me this morning how high Dak was going into that game on the MVP odds.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Vegas, it's Stafford and Drake May at the very, very top, and it's a big gap from first and second down to the rest. But Dak was third. When you beat the Eagles, you beat the Chiefs. Now you're going to play the Lions. You're trying to make an improbable playoff run, and you've been playing good ball. You got good numbers. He was a top 3 MVP candidate, and I haven't seen this morning, but I would imagine it's dead because now you're almost dead as a potential playoff team. And that's maybe the most disappointing thing to me is the way that they consistently fail to give their really good quarterbacks the proper surroundings to be able to be recognized for as good as they are. Because I think even in that game, call me crazy, I think Dak was great. I think he was great. I think it was the same stuff you've seen from him all year. Like, I am under way too much pressure. Your offensive tackles got destroyed. I'm under way too much pressure, and I'm going to make it work. And we're going to score points because I will find my way to navigate the pressure as best I can. I will deliver accurate footballs. I will make the right read. I will do all of the right football things. And it got him the recognition going to where you got the credit for beating good teams. You started getting credit for showing up against these teams. And then your defense goes, and now Dak will be an afterthought again, and we'll talk about how he threw 2 picks, and somehow, to a lot of people, it'll just be, and Dak threw 2 picks.
Oh, yeah, that's what it'll be.
And we won't take the time to go, would you like to talk about both of them?
No, because
Dak had nothing to do with 2 picks.
That goes back to
nothing.
That goes back to your point that you said yesterday. You said, I want to play all the bad people. I don't want them to have their starters. I don't want them to have their good players.
No.
I want my path to the championship. I want to be against hurt and injured teams because guess what? If I get the Super Bowl and win it, 20 years from now, no one's going to look back and say, boy, that those teams that the Cowboys beat on their way to the playoffs, championship, were hurt or banged up. They didn't have. Same thing's going to happen with these interceptions.
Yeah.
10 years from now, when we go back and we look, we're going to say, oh, man, remember that Detroit game they played up in Detroit and he had 2 picks? No one's going to go back and look and say
he had 2 picks.
That one got ripped out of Ryan Flanoy's chest and the other one that, I don't know what the hell happened with Pickens. He normally reaches his hands out and grabs it. He tried to catch it in close here. It bounced off his hand, chest, and it was intercepted. Right. No one's going to go and see that.
He threw 2 picks.
Threw 2 picks. They're going to say, oh, man, in the games that matter, they're going to go back and say the game that they needed the most, that they had to go to Detroit on the road to beat the Lions, to keep their playoff hopes alive, Dak threw 2 interceptions. That's what we're going to say. And no one's going to ever go and check, but yeah, I know he said.
You talking about when he threw a man coverage slant where Pickens had position and put it in the right spot? Yeah. That pick?
Or the one
and you talking about the one in desperation time when they're trying to get down the field and not just accept checkdowns where he pushed it down the field into Flanoy's hands in tight coverage? Hell of a ball.
Flanoy had the catch.
Whoops. And it's now a 20-year thing. And I don't absolve either one of the last 2 Cowboy quarterbacks of, in the couple chances that you had a shot at it, you started slow or didn't play well enough in a playoff game. Like, those things have happened. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's a defining trait of either one. Like, Dak Prescott has had lots of big moments where he shows up and shows out. He's had lots of big games against good teams where he carries his team to a win or comes back in the fourth quarter. Like, he's done all of those things. But because you just can't get the team building right, he's headed straight down Romo Road where 7 years after he retires, nobody in the NFL going to think about that dude unless he's broadcasting games. He'll be remembered as, oh, yeah, he was pretty good, right? And I hate it for Dak. Like, again, he played well enough to continue a run that would have been wild. The 3-5-1 Cowboys, who were a bad team, and here they come, and they ran through these 3 good teams, and like, it could have been there for him, except everybody else.
People never appreciated Romo because they stepped into a quarterback who started hot in Dak. And people won't appreciate Dak until they get to a point where they don't get lucky in the draft anymore.
Yeah.
Because they got lucky for 20 years. They got an undrafted guy who became a franchise quarterback. They got a 4th-round guy who became a franchise quarterback. Like, luck has been running really strong when it came to quarterback selection for the Dallas Cowboys. But they're going to come to a point. It's going to happen within the next 3 to 5 years where you're going to be hunting for that franchise quarterback.
Chad Hutchinson's going to get some
snaps.
snaps.
And life is going to look a lot different. And you're going to say, boy.
Drew Henson going to get some snaps.
And what you'll probably see is, then you'll probably see the Cowboys go and actually go build all around it because they're like, man, we need those other things because we don't have a quarterback that saves our tail ever so often.
And then you'll need the quarterback.
And you won't be able to find one. You'll be in quarterback carousel until you find one because people have gotten spoiled in thinking that you're just going to find the next one. And so the appreciation is never there because you've had back-to-back really good ones. You don't know life really, for the last, like I said, 20 years. You don't remember the Chad Hutchinson days. You don't remember the Quincy Carter days. Like those days, I know some of you fans are going to say, yes, I do, I remember them, but you vaguely remember them.
And Quincy is the hardest they tried to find a quarterback since Aikman, right? Like he was a 2nd-round pick?
Yeah.
That's the hardest they've tried to find a quarterback was actually Quincy Carter. you stumble drunk to Romo and you stumble drunk to Dak, and hopefully you can do it again in a half decade or whenever you actually need to do that.
Joe Milton coming right on up.
Other most disappointing thing about that Cowboys loss. Do you still believe that they have a really good defensive front? Front.
Yeah.
The 4.
Yeah. I think the front is good. I think
think Quinnen's great and everything else is kind of
Well, yeah. Quinnen raises, as Clarence would say, floats all boats.
All boats float.
All boats float. Like Quinnen is, yes. I think the front is good. I think Ezaraku is good. I think Osa's okay. I think Clark is good. I think Quinnen is really, really good. And sprinkle in whoever else you want to sprinkle in on the other side of that. So I think those front 4, and you add in Solomon Thomas, good rotational piece. He's a guy who you give him 15 to 25 snaps, he'll be good for you.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Fowler. Sam Williams has made plays on special teams, but I don't trust Sam Williams. Respectfully, Sam.
With respect.
I don't want you to see me in the lunchroom.
The most respect.
The utmost respect
that you
to
could
you,
say.
Yeah.
You're not very good.
Yeah.
With.
So yeah, I like it. Like those are foundational building pieces. You have a good mixture of very young, entering their prime, and then you have a well-oiled vet. But that's how you do it. That's how you kind of line this thing up. You don't want all young guys. You don't want all old guys. You want a combination of this guy I know has 8 to 10 more years. This guy probably has 4 to 6 more years. This guy probably has 2 to 3 more years. This guy probably has another 2 to 3 more years. And that's how you line it up. And then you continue to build off that. And you can take more chances at, flyers and adding late round picks or middle draft picks at those positions in hopes to fill them in the time where those guys fizzle out. That's how you build football teams that last for 10, 15, 20 years of being good.
Yeah, I guess I think you're right. I just, going into that game, I was looking at a team that I thought you had an opportunity to get after their quarterback. And when you do that to him, the game gets really hard. And I guess the evidence is in the fact that time to throw on kept clean, 2.29 seconds to throw a football on average would be way, way lower than anyone in football if you did it for a whole year. Like that would be the fastest getting a ball out by far in the NFL. So I guess I shouldn't be too hard on the front. It's more, you had time to get there. Like Jared Goff was catching the ball and like, open again. Woohoo! Open again.
I give a lot of credit to what they have built offensively in Detroit. Detroit is one of those very innovative, they dictate matchups. Like they go and like Dan Campbell and that crew for what they did with Ben Johnson and company, they were just like, all right, we know what they're really good at and we'll have answers. Yeah. That's the problem is that like the really good, innovative teams have answers. Yeah. And they had answers at every level for you that you just couldn't. That's why I'm like, when you go back and you watch and you're saying like, oh, Blitzmore, they would have had an answer. You might have got them once or twice, but they were going to find a way to get open, and you on the back end was going to give up an enormous explosive plays. There's a reason why Detroit has as many explosive plays that they have. They have, I think Jahmyr Gibbs and company have like 25 explosive plays. They're going to find explosives.
Because they're explosive players.
That's what they do. And so they're going to find a way, what's a good way to get a really explosive player in a really explosive position? We'll figure it out. Boop, 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 boop. Go and do it.
And part of that one is Cowboy linebacker. You know what? I have an Overshown thing that I'm going to tell you next.
Yeah, a Turpin thing.
And I know he's listening, and I'm going to apologize in advance, okay? Jesse's not going to apologize in advance about Turpin. And then also, is it time to fire up the you-know-what is next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, sure would love it if you signed up to be a diehard of DLLS. We're going to be here for you 5 days a week. We talk Cowboys football and Mavericks basketball and Rangers baseball and Stars hockey. We have beat writers that cover every team and write about them at alldlls.com. Sign up to be a diehard, and you will have access to every piece of content that you could dream of about all of your favorite sports teams right here in DFW. As we're getting closer and closer, and it may be time. You like the NFL draft? If you're signed up to be a diehard, you'll have access to all of the NFL draft rankings, scouting reports, all of those different things, so you can be all up in the know. You know what I'm saying? Sign up to be a diehard. That QR code is on your screen, and you do that, and you also get the hookup, okay? And I told you. You know what? We told you, okay? When you sign up to be a diehard, you get to pick a free T-shirt from the merch store.
You told them.
And we have a new one that's been hot.
You told them.
The Stay Shiesty T-shirt.
This is all you right here.
It's also available in a hoodie. But let me just tell you that I told you and we told you, don't forget about that 88 Club shirt. Don't forget. It's going to come back around. Everybody wanted the Shiesty. About 3-4 weeks. There's also an 88 Club shirt. Might want that one to come back around.
There it is.
You might want that 88 Club shirt. I've heard they started moving again, by the way, last week. We started moving them. When you sign to be a diehard, you can pick a free T-shirt from the merch store. You can pick one of those. You can pick any of them. We got a whole freaking bunch of them. So go ahead and do that. Also, please sign up for the newsletter, alldlls.com/newsletter. And you can get to your inbox every morning. It's no spam, no BS. It's free. It's just a little recap of everything you need to know about your DFW sports teams popped right into your inbox each day. It is the DLS Cowboys podcast. I have a thing.
I know you guys are upset.
And you got a thing.
I know you guys are upset.
Who's upset?
Let's run through these super chats quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of you guys, hit the like button, man. What is going on,
please. The like buttons are low, but I mean, they did lose a game. And we are going to have less viewers today than
Don't penalize us.
We had less viewers
about the game
in the post game than we did the one before because people would rather win. And so if it's late at night and you didn't win, you might go to bed instead of watching us. But yeah, if you're here, please, for the algorithm, hit that like button. Be here with us. We do appreciate you. Jeff Heath is the GOAT is in the super chat. 40, 31, 44. Does the NFC North just know how to put Flus in a blender? Are the Vikings also going to put up 35 on this defense? Is McCarthy back, or are they still playing that guy I've never heard of?
I think McCarthy will be back.
Okay, because if they're playing that guy I've never heard of, we're in good shape. Oh, wait, if they're playing J.J. McCarthy, you're in good shape too.
He might throw it 18 times to Justin Jefferson, though.
If J.J. McCarthy puts up big numbers, then we are officially back to your everyone's get right. Because J.J. McCarthy this year has been the worst NFL quarterback that anyone has ever thought would actually be a starter.
Horrible.
If he tears you up, you got problems. But Justin Jefferson will probably be uncovered on about 15 plays. So the truth is in the super chat. Fellas, why is Shoddy a coward in situations? He's Jason Garrett with a visor. I thought pre-halftime that was a coward move. I'm going to cut him some bail, man. I'm going to cut him some slack. That was a coward move.
I'm going to cut him some slack, man. He's learning. He's learning on the job. There's a lot going on in his head right now.
Maj is in the super chat. Great play caller. McCarthy-level game manager when it comes to Shoddy. He does have some game management stuff.
He's learning.
First half of the season, my man loved to throw away a timeout he'd want back 5 minutes later. Loved it. And then Jesse had a great game strategy that he could have used if he was going to kick the field goal before half. Just pretend you're not. Do your thing. Get another 20, 30 seconds off. Dan Campbell might not call a timeout if he thinks you're going to keep trying to drive. He definitely won't call a timeout. True Texans in there. I know Shoddy keeps saying we win the game in the fourth quarter. Problem is the Cowboys are losing the game in the first 3 quarters. Boy, it's not fun when they lose. Chris is in the super chat. I'd rather play with 10 than have 59 on field. I don't know what to tell you about Kenneth Murray. Now, there were also Logan Wilson snaps while he was out there that I was like, well, that's not good. But, yeah, I think I'll go Vacha on you here. If Logan Wilson is bad, I'll take bad. Bad is way better than what 59 does out there. I don't, for the life of me, understand what makes certain coaches have the certain guys that it's like, yeah, but that's my guy. He's got it. It's like, he don't got it.
Yeah, he got some Epstein-level files on the Cowboys coaching staff. He must. There must be something that Kenneth Murray has that they keep marching him out there.
He don't got it.
And you know it's bad. You know it's bad because I think that we're a very fair, truthful, informational base, backed by numbers and stat, experience and information.
We have to be because half the people call us haters and half call us homers, so we're probably doing something right.
But when the Cowboy homers of the content creator world,
see, now you're a hater,
are calling for or asking the question of why he's on the field.
Oh yeah.
That tells you a lot. Account, like there's a bunch of them. I know who y'all are. There's a bunch of y'all. Yeah. And when y'all are talking about we don't know how Kenneth from Oklahoma is still on the field, that's when you know it's bad.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's like, all right, y'all.
The Zeke downfall was really fun with the Homer community. And I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. Do your content however you want. Do, whatever your lane is, that's cool. Everybody gets to do it however they want.
Yeah, you just took 3 lanes over the.
If you're an optimistic super fan and that's the content you want, that's cool. Yeah. There's a market for that.
Sure.
That's cool. But I do remember during the Zeke times when I was like, guys, what are you doing? What are y'all doing?
Zeke's probably sitting somewhere.
Because what I remember is the stuff that people get mad at me about because I'm human. And I would be stunned. When Zeke was getting way, way worse very fast for the Cowboys and you would observe it. It's like, no, the line, Pollard's not better than, I'm like, what? And then it took him to come back to the Cowboys after New England and be bad again for people to recognize that he ever got bad. Yeah. It was wild. And I don't know why I went there. But I have an Overshown thing that I want to mention.
Gotcha. What do you got?
Overshown hadn't been good either. And so, as now you have, 4 games left? I think these 4 games are really, really, really important for DeMarvion Overshown. Because, Kenneth Murray's story was written probably 2 or 3 years ago as what he was as an NFL player. And I told you what he was as an NFL player when the Cowboys traded for him. I'm like, man, that's a bad trade. You don't want that much salary cap going to a guy that can't play.
Right.
Overshown's is obviously not. The start of his career was really good and exciting. And now as he's working his way back from it, just in that game last night, your linebacker play was really bad by both / all of them. And so I just want to point out, I think it's really important to show the strides that where I am physically and getting the reps on the field, that I can show you that guy is still here. Because the level of explosiveness, I think, is not necessarily the same. And your rhythm and timing and having a feel for what you're doing out there.
Wait, you mean to tell me
naturally is missing?
Wait a second. You mean to tell me that the numbers that they said that they had that was
I wouldn't worry about that.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
He was running pretty good in a straight line when Gibbs made Murray look dumb, and then Overshown ran all the way by him and almost touched him with one finger as he realized, I was supposed to stop or slow down at some point because he can go wherever he wants. I'm just saying, I don't want, and I'm not, writing off DeMarvion Overshown's career. I'm just saying that it's really important that you find things over the next month that you feel great about with him, because otherwise you are adding to a list that's already too long of what you need on this team. He needs to be a guy.
Yes, he does. And here's where I stand on that. I stand and I stood. When you come back from your second, and this is the part I keep trying to tell people.
Coming back from a big injuries hard?
When you come back from major injuries, especially when you come back from multiple major injuries, never at no point in life when the doctor slices you open and stitches you back up are you whole again. Never. You lost a piece of you. When they have to shave something off, when they have to go and take something from somewhere else to patch up something else over here, you're never, ever, ever, ever the same. So coming into the time where Overshown was coming back, I never looked at it as he had to show me he wanted to show himself that. And that's totally fine. You deserve that. The whole thing for me was always going to be, hey, just get him back out there and let him play football. Let him knock the dust off, the rust off. Let him get the feel back of the game. Let him find out what the new him is. Because every time you go under the knife, there's a new you. I argue with you when it comes to Trayvon Diggs, because you keep saying, hey, if we get that Trayvon back, if we get that healthy Trayvon.
I start it with an if.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, you say if, and I'm like,
yeah, I don't know that man exists.
I don't think it exists anymore. He had three major knee injuries, two ACLs,
and he wasn't
and a micro.
He wasn't a fast corner to begin with.
And so once you start taking these pieces away from you, it breaks you down a little bit more. And this game of football is such a physical game. It wears on you. So what you feel when you haven't played this game in 17 months and what you feel after you played this game for 7 games, a lot different. Different. And so I just want Overshown to keep going out there, man, and just keep trying to figure out and find out what the new you is. The new you have to figure that out. You have to figure out what are the new limitations or parameters that you can play in. And then hone in on that, because you're different.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad different. You're different. You're different because you got cut open and you got worked on. And so you're coming back from that. And I thought him coming back, and that's why I was cautioning folks. They were like, oh, when Overshown gets back, this thing is going to pew. I'm like, dude, I haven't played football in 17 months. It matters.
And now I know you have a Turpin thing, but can I start it real quick? Because
Sure.
I have a message for KaVontae Turpin.
All right.
If you don't mind. This is the signal for fair catch. And it can be, that's the signal for a fair catch.
Yeah.
If you attempt to run with the ball after you've done that, it's a penalty.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They should let you run wherever the hell you want. It's fair catch. We're going to put the ball right there. Have fun. See you later, young man. But it is against the rules, and it is a penalty. And I don't think anyone in the history of the NFL has ever been called twice for that. And you've done it twice in 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
3 weeks, yeah.
I really believe no one in the history of the NFL has been called for that twice, but you.
Yeah.
And you've done it in 3 weeks. Okay.
We talk a lot about, and Jerry took shots at guys like Diggs and other guys who he paid before, and then all of a sudden their productivity went. Turpin, you're falling in that category, buddy. I'm sorry, but I think you forgot what got you there. I think they gave you a little bit more responsibility on offense, and you run with it.
That's some money.
They gave you some money, and you forgot what got you there. You used to be able to flip the field. We had the white Devin Hester play better than you last night in the return game.
Sir.
I'm just saying.
Sir.
You got to get back to being a returner, bro. Like, you got to get back. Like, that's your lane. Yes, you can come in and play some offense, but you can't get penalties. You got to stop. Like, you used to change the course of the field position. Don't know if you do that anymore, man. But
Shout out to Jeremy. Who would have known the guy speeding with stuff on him was not a good decision maker? Thanks for being here, guys. We love you. We'll have something for you tomorrow as well. Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through. Be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.
We all silly like the mayor.